Top of the morning to you. Boss here. And first, second, third of all, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. We got it wrong. Proof of we have it wrong and have been having it wrong and have had it wrong. The latest display has been the Breonna Taylor outcome, the verdict. Dude, look, if I just tend to lose it on this one, it's just gonna have to be that. And if they make me take it down, then they can take it down. That's fine. Do what you want to do. But sometimes you gotta be like, yeah, we fucked up. We got it wrong. We got it wrong. You gotta know to what degree you have it wrong, though. You, in your arena of how I could have got it right, or what I should have been doing to get it right, to where this kind of shit would never happen. We've been wrong, man. We've been wrong. And to err is human. Anybody can make a mistake, but you got to realize, what does that mean as far as how you had it wrong? Well, let me tell you. Because anytime and every time you ever felt like, yeah, ain't no use in voting, because they just going to pick who they want to pick anyway. Ain't no use in going out there and bothering to get registered to vote, because it's just going to be some other white person, or somebody just like the last one, or somebody else who's going to rob and steal from you and cut your benefits. And ain't no use in going out there and trying. Ain't no use in go out there and voting. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. Taxes, yeah. Taxes affect a financial portion of what needs to be fixed, or what the candidate might be lying and telling you some falsehoods about raising taxes, or for what reasons they will be raising taxes. But the bigger scope of things and the bigger picture is what you deal with day to day. You know, the type of crimes that happen day to day don't necessarily happen to you every time, but when they do happen, you want what everybody wants. You want justice. Okay, well, ain't no line that represents color when it comes to justice. Either it's right or it's wrong. And everybody, I mean, and if you look at the quote-unquote protests that turned violent, the protests that were non-violent, the protests that were publicized, televised, you know, they had them on every news outlet. That lets you know right there, everybody you see out there is not all one color. Everybody you see out there is not all one gender. They're saying, in their efforts to provide a protest effort, they're saying we got it wrong. And it's going to take us to get it right. Everybody. Everybody. And I know what you want to see is somebody who's so hard-nosed one way, like if they're just so hard-nosed right-wing, or they're just so hard-nosed left, or so hard-nosed liberal, you want them to come forth and say, yeah, I know we don't agree on this, or I know we don't agree on that, but this Breonna Taylor shit we got it wrong. Let's work together to make sure we don't get this. No. Let's make sure we don't get anything this fucked up and wrong again. Because this was just a blatant, out and out, in your face. Don't tell me nothing about the law. Don't tell me nothing about that wanting and dangerous. Don't tell me nothing about that. This shit almost sounds made up. And here's the thing about it. Let me talk to you. Seriously though. What the hell does it matter what law you put in front of the explanation when you are being told she was shot and she didn't do anything? Dude, I don't know what else needs to be said. I don't know what else needs to be said. Because, yeah, everybody, you know, is screaming, crying, yelling, upset, angered, frustrated about the series of crimes. You know, you want to say something about, you know, the brother shot in the back because he possibly could have had a weapon. Not that you validate that as a reason, but okay. Okay. You ain't okay with it, but okay. You're arguing with that to argue with. Okay? On a desperate level, when you talk about George Floyd, he wasn't armed. He wasn't robbing anybody or shooting anybody or doing anything that would have been violent, but he has committed past crimes. You're not okay with that. That don't validate or mean anything, but you have that to argue. You have that to argue. If you have to have something, or if you're reaching for something, okay. You have somebody who had committed a crime before, or had committed crimes before, on the ground, subdued by several officers, but he didn't have to die. Okay. It's not okay, but you could say that. You have that fact to argue with. If that's your one weapon, then you have that one weapon to wave. But he was a criminal. He committed crime before. He's not perfect like me. Okay, great. That's what you say. You stand there and say that. You do that. You do that in those two instances, and go back to whichever ones, you have to dig up and find if they ever jaywalked, had a traffic ticket, farted in public indecency, but whatever you can find in their past that makes it somehow or another valid for you to semi-condone the treatment that they got or the reason they were killed. You do that. You wave that flag. You can't do that in the Breonna Taylor case because she wasn't doing anything. She didn't do anything. I heard she was up and she wasn't asleep. Then I hear she was asleep. She was not shooting at the police. And she was not the person wanted on the no-knock warrant that was being served. Okay. Sorry. I don't want to hear anything about any rule, law, mandate, or amendment that would validate her being shot as a result, because she wasn't the one wanted. She shouldn't have been the one to get shot. If the person wasn't even there in the first place, it's just, like I said, I don't get angered at the incompetence. I get angered at the handling of incompetence. These fucking dudes ain't even supposed to be here. What are you doing here? You're not even sure you're at the right place. You're not even sure you're here for the right person. Oh, okay. We're shooting people because we come to the wrong address. We're shooting people because we're here for somebody we thought was here or thought should be here, or we got that wrong. All right, it's the level of incompetence that I'm now angered at, and what are you going to do about it? You're saying you're not going to do anything about it. You're saying this shit could have been worse, so we're going to charge them for what could have been worse. I don't know what's worse than just killing somebody for no reason. I don't know what's worse than that. I really don't. We got to protect our Breonnas, and damn it, you're letting the world know. To protect our Breonnas, we have to act first and ask last. Dude, what else do you want? We can't say we're safe based on the competence of the people hired to protect us anymore. Damn, that shit feels scary. But not scary to the point where I'm going to run and hide and be in the bathroom and leave my keys out there so you can open the door and find me in the bathtub in the fetal position. It just means, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask last, though. I can't. I have too much to lose. I have my own Breonnas I have to tend to and take care of. I have my own Tamir Rices that I love and will protect, and have no intention of an explanation being told to me that I don't get. The only thing you can kind of really be certain of is somebody's gonna get arrested. Well, that ain't always the case when it comes to us, because we don't always get a chance to get heard, seen, and locked up. Sometimes we get killed on sight. Well, I'm not doing that alone either. I'm not doing that alone either, brother. And it's the consequences of these preemptive, systemic situations that are making me think I'd feel better if that's how I went out. I'd feel better if I was able to act before I was acting in the way you asked me to, and then you still took me out. No, dog. No. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it today. And we're going to do it right here in front of one another, man to man. You're going to be in whatever you're in, and I'm going to be in whatever I'm in. And you're not going to gain my trust anymore. You've primarily lost it all around the world. There's no need for me to act like I can talk my way out of a situation anymore. I know who I'm talking to, and I know how you see me. It is what it is, man. The day is the day. One of us just ain't going to go home. And yeah, kind of spooky, kind of creepy, kind of scary, kind of odd. But dude, it is what it is. And nobody should be acting like it's not anymore. Don't act like, yep, you just listen to the officer and do what he said. You'll be all right. Fuck you. Bitch, pick up a newspaper. Read. Go back a year and see if you don't have some of the same episodes of mishandled, improperly done, improperly identified people finding themselves at the end of a barrel coming from somebody who, you know, I thought all you had to do was check my license. I thought all you had to do was just verify this information that I just gave you. I thought if I was here with my hands on my head, on my knees, I would not be filled with lead and left for dead or treated because I did what you told me to do. Every episode is not like that. Every situation ain't like that. Everybody doesn't die. Everybody doesn't get, you know, treated the same way. But I'm just telling you, far too many times, far too many resemblance, too many resembled suspects. You fit a description. I bet I do. But I bet you better not pull that damn gun on me. I bet you that. And I'm going to talk to you with respect. But when I see you doing something that don't make sense, I can't wait for somebody to explain to my mama or my sister or my baby's mother or my children what here's the details of the crime. No. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. What my family is going to be faced with is, you have a collect call. Yeah, well, pick it up. I'll tell you what happened. I'm not going to wait to face those who want me to say I'm in fear of my life. I'm in fear of the lives of the people I protect. So I'm coming out the house that way. I'm coming out the house that way. Accept it, like it, don't like it, or whatever. I'm prepared to comply, but I'm more prepared to leave the scene alive. That's going to be first and foremost from now to the end of it all, because it ain't gonna get no better. I don't think we have time for that. Two things that have changed this world at large are the coronavirus and the injustices that have ended up in death. The coronavirus has changed the world, and the injustices at the hands of law enforcement, yeah, they've rocked the foundation of this whole nation. So it is what it is. When you get anybody to talk on any type of serious level and they want to change the Constitution, change the amendments that have been written, I mean completely, I mean top to bottom, the new ones, the 28 new ones, yeah, those can be included because those have had input from people who, you know, don't think of others as property. Yeah, you can have those input in there. But everything else in your Constitution, you got to rip all that shit up, man, and rewrite it. Yeah. You don't have 12 people that you can trust to write it, though. You have to have different people from different walks of life, different ethnicities, different religions. You'd have to make it across the board. Instead of trying to nitpick and, you know, just tweak this a little bit, change this a little bit. The whole fucking thing was written during a time that we've already established had most people, most genders excluded. So you got to start over. You got to start all over. You got to start all over. You have to start all over. And it can be done. You know how you know it can be done? Because you can see right now everybody walking around with the... You can see everybody walking around with masks now. How'd you get everybody to wear masks? How did you get everyone to wear masks? How did you get everybody money? No matter how, you know, your little, what was the stimulus check? How'd you get everybody stimulus checks as a result of what happened with this supposed unleashed virus? How'd you do that? Whatever your reason or explanation was to what I just said, this is the same way that you can have a newly ratified Constitution that includes all people as people to start with. No one will be considered an animal. Ugly people won't be considered, you know, optional. No, everybody across the board at once will be regarded as people. And you wouldn't think you'd have to tell somebody to do that, but that's how evolved this country has become, and how primitive the thinking of some people were. Some people wanted to use other people as beasts of burden, labor, like animals, to be bought, sold, whipped, and disciplined at the hand of other adult people. That's how beastly and primitive and, you know, unevolved it used to be. So you wouldn't think you'd have to have a nationwide, countrywide, worldwide declaration of any type of amendment that's supposed to represent all people and then exclude certain people. You wouldn't think you'd have to say, oh, well, we need to fix it so everybody be included. Well, no, not them, because we don't consider them. Then you can't, then that has to be fixed if it was ever written. And if it wasn't written, then it should never be exposed. Tear that shit up and throw it away. You should never have to explain the Constitution to somebody who's regarded in it as an animal. Or as less than, you know, than a man if it's a man. And not have women included. Because women are included. Not have the different ethnicities of people that are in that country. Because they are in that country. Well, if they're not in that document, they're not in that declaration of universal liberty, then that piece of paper is null and void. That piece of paper ain't shit. That piece of paper ain't nothing. That piece of paper ain't nothing. That piece of paper doesn't represent enough people to say it's for the people or for the well-being of all people. You can't. You can't go by that piece of paper. That's what we should be saying and screaming and talking about. And I saw the brother on Instagram who's writing a book, and he was saying it, you know, the way he was saying it. But really, everybody should be on the same page as we need to change that fucking document. It ain't going to change what's going on right now. Everything that's going on right now is just going to have to play itself out. If people don't feel safe and people feel like they're going to get killed every time a police pull up, don't tell me no shit about, you're overreacting. No. I done seen enough overreaction. So now I'm acting before the overreacting begins, you know. Constitution need to be ripped up, torn up, and it needs to be rewritten. It needs to be, you can't ratify, you have to change it. You have to change it. You have to change it. You have to really, really, really define what its purpose is and then change it to include everybody who has made that document safe. Because the people who have made that document safe aren't regarded in it equally.